Hey guys.
Hey Joe, how are you today?
How you doing?
Doing good. We got the yellow 69 Camaro Super Sport out today. A beautiful day. Good day to get them out.
Yep.
It sure is a sharp car. So we're here
Thank
today
you.
at Heartland Hotrods with Joe. He's a buddy of a buddy, and we've gotten to know you a little bit at the car cruises and things. And I've been on you to bring your car out so we could film it. It's a beautiful car. So we'll just get right to it. We'll start off. How long you had this car?
Probably 23 years now.
23 years. So you've had it a minute.
Yeah.
Now, prior to this, you said you had a 55 Chevy, is that right?
Right.
So tell us a little bit about that and what got you interested in a muscle car.
Well, I had a 55 Chevy. It was a four-door, a six-cylinder, stick on the column. And it was all original, real nice, 55. And I just had a bass boat, and I wasn't using it no more. So I says, I'm going to sell the bass boat. Give me a muscle car.
So you kind of got the itch.
Yeah. First, I always liked 69 Camaros.
So you sold the bass boat. You buy a Camaro. What happened to the 55?
Well, I lost the garage space for it. I had to sell that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So then that got you back to one car. So you started restored. It wasn't yellow when you got it, correct?
No, it was white. Yeah, white with the black vinyl top.
And it wasn't this vinyl top.
No.
Okay.
No.
So I know a little bit of the history here. It had what you said was a Chevelle vinyl top on it originally, and I guess they trimmed it to fit this car probably.
Right.
And your builder said that wasn't correct, so you wanted the correct one.
The correct original vinyl top on it. Yeah.
Well, I think what's cool, and by the way, to our listeners, most people know this, but the ones that don't know, this 69 is the most desirable of the F bodies. In that first gen, everybody longs for that 69. I did myself till I gave up and bought a 68. So, but one thing I do like about this car is how the vinyl top doesn't come all the way over to the drip rail. It leaves that spacing in there. It's kind of like a first gen Monte Carlo's like that, and it carries kind of the same style chrome, but I think it splits it up nice.
Yeah.
So you've had it 23 years. When did the restoration start?
Well, I probably had it after 3 years after I got it. Then I had looked through catalogs, what color I wanted, and I came up with Daytona yellow. I like that.
Right.
And that's why he did it.
Well, I don't think he could have picked a finer color for this car. Now, this is not a real super sport, correct?
No, it's an SS clone.
Yeah. Well, it's cloned out nice. So,
thank you.
As far as the paint goes, so the paint's around 18, 20 years old, I'm guessing, if you had it.
Yeah.
You was into it about 3 years. So you was telling me these stripes are painted on.
Right. That's how it came from factory.
Back to the fender.
Right.
And then this
is decal.
Is a decal. And that's the way GM did it, correct?
Right. Yep.
I learned that today from you because I wasn't aware of that. Yep. So if anybody else knew that, share that kind of information. If you know little tidbits about certain things about these cars that maybe we don't, we'd love to hear from you. Just put it right there in the comments below. You care if we look at your hood, under the hood here? See what you got. It says 350, so I'll let you tell about that.
Well, it's 350, and now it's a 383 stroker motor.
383
bigger
stroker.
Crank, and
You got the MSD ignition box back there, which I like. I've got that on my car. You got the MSD coil. These are add-ons. You got ceramic headers. Probably has plenty of horsepower if the motor's a stroker motor. Was this the setup when you bought the car?
Yeah.
So this part was done.
Yep.
I think you were telling me that the guy who did your body work and stuff said whoever had it before put most of their money under the hood, correct?
Right. Yep. I put the disc on the front, stuff like that.
You added the disc brakes.
Right.
Now, these wheel wells, and these are metal, were they painted from the original or are they replacement ones?
Replacement ones.
Because they look really, they look really new. And I like the fact that you got the padding in here to keep that heat off your hood paint. You've got the correct decals for it. So when you pop the hood minus the headers, it looks like it's supposed to. Now, you did tell me this was originally an AC car, correct?
Right. Yep.
But you decided to just not go that route because there's an expense involved, obviously, and it gives you a little more room under the hood too.
Right. I didn't really want the big box for the AC. And
yeah, for anybody that doesn't know, on GMs they had the A coil for the AC.
Yeah.
Was out here, and it come up to about a third of the way up alongside the motor.
Right.
Makes it difficult to do anything back there in that corner in the back, whether it's spark plug wires, manifold header bolts, things like that. So you got
Right.
MSD ignition. You got it. Is that MSD ignition on the distributor as well?
Yeah.
So everything's matched up.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. Yeah, it looks great. It looks great, and it's clean. That's what I like to see when I go out and check out other cars is, you know, you can see a bright, shiny car, pop the hood, and you got a big pile of dust and, you know, leaves, whatever. But obviously this car don't get that kind of stuff treatment because it's inside when it's not out on a beautiful day like this. So we'll walk on around it here a little bit. Now, one thing that I like about the 69s, and for those that don't know, the 69s are kind of their own animal. 67 and 68 was really similar, the only difference being the wing on the 67 and the side marker lights for the quarter panels like this one and the one you got up front. Does this have it up front? Sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love these louvers, these simulator louvers. I think that looks really good. It accents the car and the color really well. Now, it's got the lower chrome on the rocker panel. Obviously sport mirrors. The wheels, when you bought the car, did it have these wheels on it?
No, it had rally wheels on there. And I seen these wheels down at the shop. And I says, I want those wheels. So I bought those wheels and put them on there.
You say when you saw them at the shop, at the builder's shop,
Yeah,
the guy was doing your body work.
Painted it, yeah.
And they're 14-inch, obviously.
Yeah.
And they look factory correct on here. And that was an option on a 69 Super Sport.
Right.
It was also an option on a Chevelle. It looks just like that Chevelle wheel from 69. And I believe some 70s even had it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got your key. Maybe we can pop the trunk and take a look back here. Now you got the black tail panel back here.
Yep.
They all didn't have that, correct?
No, only big blocks had that.
Only big blocks had the black tail panel.
Yeah.
So that was a good indicator when you saw that back in the late 69, early 70s. If you saw this black tail panel, you knew that was a big block car. You might want to stay away from it if you were looking for a race, maybe. Because they did pack some horsepower, although the small blocks did as well, 327s and 350s. Oh, well, it's really clean under here. It looks great. So you got the Posi-Track sticker here. And then the jacking instructions. Got the factory mat, and you've got a fifth wheel that matches. And many times you don't see that. I think that's a good accent to the car because it comes with 5 wheels. So that's neat. And of course, the gas on this, on my 68, it's here. Where's it at on this? Under the license plate?
Under the license plate, yeah. Yeah.
And you also did what a lot of us do. You found the proper license plate for 1969, and that's your historic plate. And here in Missouri, they allow you to do that. Dual exhaust, 2-inch, 2 1/4 inch, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
This was factory too. How factory did it?
Yeah, the angle on the paint there.
Yeah.
And it's got all new weather stripping. Now, SS's all had the spoiler.
Yeah.
If you wanted it.
Right.
If you didn't want it, I guess they would change it to your liking. And that was what was cool back in the day. GM allowed you to do those things to kind of create the car like you wanted it. But if you ordered a factory Super Sport, I think all of them had this rear spoiler. Well, it's equally as sharp over on this side. What I like about these cars is how solid and easy the doors open and close.
Yeah.
So it's Daytona yellow, black accents, black interior. Let's have a look. You mind if I open this again?
Go ahead. Yeah.
we'll sneak in here and look. So you got the horseshoe shifter, 350 turbo transmission, or is it a 400?
350.
350 turbo. Any work been done to the transmission that
Nope.
you know of?
No.
Shifts good and tight.
Yeah.
That's all a guy needs.
Yeah.
You're kind of like me. You're not out kicking up races and stuff like that.
Right.
But you know, there's an age limit on that. We hit a certain age, we go, I don't want to do that. The tires cost too much, and leaving tread on the road.
You're right.
Although your buddy Jay likes to turn them up once in a while. He's got the '66 Chevelle that we filmed here
But he's
a couple
single.
weeks ago. He's single. He can do
He
that.
can
He's
do
trying
it.
to. He don't have a puppy dog, so
Right.
so he's got to burn rubber. Well, it sure is pretty in there, man. It's got the. You was telling me it when you got it, it didn't have the factory seat belts. It had racing seat belts, right?
Right. Had the racing harness in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with these seats.
Right.
So this interior was in the car when you purchased it.
Right. Yeah.
Is that factory spec?
No, that was an add-on. The racing seat belts were. So this would have been your factory option. Now I know I had a Z28 many years ago, and I had the little clips for the seat belts that went on the side of the
Okay.
console. But those things are hard to find, and I don't believe they reproduce them. So if you find a set, they're like gold. So anybody's got any, I would take some if you're looking to sell them at a reasonable price, of course. Now we run into this a lot, and I always point this out. Now every car we've looked at, your buddy Jay's, his dad's '67 Camaro has this front antenna. I have a Firebird. Mine was in the back. I believe that was an option. I mean, you could get them either way. Obviously, I think the majority of them would come out like this with a
Right.
front fender radio antenna. Now, I was going to ask you while we had that interior open, the factory radio in it, and then
Yep.
you've got an under dash 8-track.
Yep.
So AM radio, under dash 8-track.
Yeah.
Do you have 8-tracks that you can still play?
Yeah. I still have my old
Well,
one.
see, there you go. That's retro. That's the way we'd like to see it, man. A young person come in here, they go, what is that box with that big hole in it? You know, but now that one's got a GM logo on the plate where you put the tape in. Is that something that GM had?
Right. Factory. Yeah.
So that's a factory 8-track add-on.
Right.
Well, that's really cool. And I love all your stainless trim. These are highly polished. Everything looks like it should. So your builder, knowing what was required to make it an SS clone, did a great job, because I did not know that it was a clone till you told me. As well as I didn't know that back splash panel back here, the rear tail panel, was black only on big blocks. So that's some neat information that we found out today. And I appreciate you sharing that with us. Now, one thing about the bumpers, and I noticed in the back, and I'll bring it up here while we're up front, most of the time you see these factory bumpers, and were these factory to the car
Right.
when you got it?
Yeah.
You added these bumperette
Right.
things
Yeah.
with the chrome pieces with their little rubber stoppers on. And I agree with you, it kind of breaks it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, that would have been a great option to have had. Showed you had a little more money than someone else back in the late 60s, early 70s when these cars came out. And you've got the same on the back. So they're made obviously a little different, but
Yep.
it's kind of,
They put them on the front and the back. Yeah.
well, they'll fit either one. That's kind of great. That's a neat feature. I sure like that. I think that looks good. It breaks it up nicely.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a cool car.
Thank you.
If you don't care, fire it up for us while it's sitting
Okay.
here. I want to hear it from back here.
Okay.
I'll stay back here because you probably need my microphone, Greg.
I do.
Wow, check that out. Carbureted car. Carbureted car. Fires right up about a half a turn there. Sounds good. You can hear the performance kind of rumbling through that 2 1/4 inch exhaust. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I noticed on a 69, they started this in 69, is you've got the steering column with the key and the lock on it. We're in 67, 68. It was on the dash like my car is.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll reach in there and shut it off if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Well, that sure is nice. Now, Greg and I talk cars a lot. Greg's filming here today and does a great job, by the way. But, you know, this was actually, these Camaros were built to compete with the Mustangs.
Yeah.
Mustang came out in 64 and a half. They call them 64 and a half, 65s. And Chevy had the Chevelle and the little Chevy too. They didn't really have an answer for what Ford did. And Ford's Mustang just took off. I mean, so they were 2 or 3 years behind. So they were determined to come up with a car that would compete with the Mustang. And I think they hit a pretty good lick when they started building the Camaros, you know.
Yeah,
When that 67 came out, again, they were 2.5 years behind, but it was an F-body car, subframe car, much like the Mustang, and it'd give people another option for a performance small to mid-sized car that really wasn't out there prior to this Camaro. So I think they hit a home run, and then they added that with the Pontiac Firebirds, of course. Same body line, same body styles generally, different bumpers, a little different look, but a wonderful option. Instead of, if you wasn't a Ford guy, GM had the answer for it with these Camaros. So,
right. Yeah.
you know, anybody out there that has any thoughts or information about how the competition was and what created the buzz about the Camaros, we'd love to hear that too. So, Joe, I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate
you
man.
coming out on this beautiful
Thank
day.
you.
You came to us. That was a great thing. And,
Thank you. Great.
you know, Greg and I sure appreciate it. It give you a chance to get your car out and ride around today. And it's a beautiful car.
Yes.
That's a car you should be proud of.
Thank you.
This is our second F-body first gen Camaro in 2 days. So if we could get one a day that looked as good as these past two, we'd be really doing well. So thank you all for tuning in to Heartland Hot Rods on YouTube. Make sure you go to our website, heartlandhotrods.com. We've got a page on Facebook. Check out all of our socials. Hit that like button, share, and please subscribe if you would. We'd appreciate that. We're a new channel, and we've got many cars to film. There's so many beautiful cars just in our region. So we want to get to as many of them as we can, and we sure appreciate your time, Joe, and thank you for sharing yours.
Well, thank you.
You can tell it's got a mean cam.
Oh yeah, it sounds great.
Beautiful car. Now, was it a power steering car?